Hey, what's up, you guys? Peek out here in Singapore. Don't mind me. There is a plane going by. Like, really? But I can't say anything because August 9th is the National Day for Singapore, and I think they're practicing already for the air show. Whatever. Anyway, cool. Um, I took a break and I actually slept for a little while. It's been a lot of really late nights, so I think Sunday night I finished baby girl's hair at like 11, which is not late for me, but once she went to bed, I started catching up on videos and comments and catching up with the people around me. I caught up with Anitra because I wanted to get started again. Hey, how are you? I'm so sorry. Can you still hear it? It's terrible, right? I'm hoping it goes away. Gosh, just finished flying already. Maybe that works. Okay, so yeah, Sunday was really late for me because I didn't fall asleep until like 3, which was dumb because the first time after a month I had to make sure that I was up super early to make sure baby girl got to school on time. She has to be up at least by 6:40, and that's the latest that I can possibly wake her up. So then we get dressed, I walk her down to school, and she has to be in school before 7:30, which is when school starts. So a whole month of late nights and late mornings where she would wake up at like noon, and I did as well. And suddenly we're back to, waking up super early and getting the day started very, very early, which is good. I'm really glad that I'm doing that because I get a lot more done, actually. I don't know if you noticed, if you wake up late, it's like half the day is gone and you wake up lethargic as well. It's like, yes, you need the extra sleep, but for some reason, it's like it's making you want to sleep some more as well. So it's weird. I don't know why that works the way that it does, but that's how I feel about it. Anyway, so yeah, Sunday night was really late. Monday morning was really early. Monday night was really late because I have a podcast episode that I tape live with August Crenshaw at 2 a.m. Singapore time, which happens to be 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and it's a mess, but I enjoy it. It's been fun. We've been doing it now for, I don't know, maybe like 8 episodes, and we get to get the entire crowd involved. So whoever's on with us live gets to ask questions. We'll answer you live. We'll bring you on the podcast if you have time. And it's just been fun, but that also means that I'm hyped by the time we get off. I get off at like 3 o'clock in the morning. I'm hyped, which means it takes me about at least an hour to kind of calm down and get all my thoughts out. Usually I'll do a podcast episode right after if I have the energy, or if I'm still sorting out my thoughts, I'll just write some stuff down so that I make sure that I don't forget things. But that also means if I go to sleep by 4 o'clock, I still need to be up by 6. I need to be up before she is, so I make sure that I'm up and awake and I'm not dragging her as well. So finally I was like, look, executive decision, I need to take a break. But since then, I've gotten back into my office hours, and while she's at school, I sit at my computer and get my work done. It's been hard though because my mom's visiting from overseas and I want to go hang out with her, but I can't afford to. I gotta get my work done. So then the plan is, first half of my office hours is from 8 o'clock in the morning until 1:45, which is when I need to leave and go pick up baby girl, which is good because that whole span of time is actually a very, very solid chunk of time that I can get a lot of work done. So today I've been messing with this app called Smarterqueue. I really like the concept. It kind of gives you a pre-planned social media scheduling calendar kind of thing. There's a lot of words in there, but if you hang with me for a sec, maybe I can actually explain the gist of this whole thing. So basically, I can write in all of the apps that I use social media-wise. So it could be Pinterest, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, what else is out there? And LinkedIn if I really wanted to. So I can add all of those in there, and then it will tell me what are the best times that I should post so that people can engage. But it also tells me what I can post. So I have like several categories of posts that I can create. And for me, at the moment, my posting schedule consists of Instagram every day, as much as possible. It's been slack lately, I know, just, yeah, bear with me. But I'm meant to post on Instagram every day. I don't really plan on when to post, I just post, and then I let it roll and see how people respond. And I also try to go live every day, definitely with the podcast, but I'm trying to do live video on my personal page as well, just to kind of grab the attention of all of my followers and let them know that yes, I am a business. I am helping people with their emotional health. I help you create some clarity in your life, and to do that you need to know kind of what I do and how I do it. So those are the live videos on Facebook. But outside of that, I do want to start doing blogs again. I do want to recycle some of my very, very, very old posts on Instagram. And then I eventually want to start working on Pinterest as well. So I know it's not smart to introduce so many platforms right off the bat when I'm still trying to figure out my own existing schedule. But I think it's good to introduce new ideas as you go along your process in business so you have something else to consider. Maybe you get used to posting every day, right? And maybe you do it not first thing in the morning so you can knock out all of that stuff. The app is called Smarterqueue, Queue. And if you check it out, it's actually a free app. And I think you get like a 14 or 30-day trial, something like that, just to start off with, just so you can take a look. So please, 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 when you get on that app, go through the calendar and see how they've decided to schedule out posts. I think it's really great because it allows you to create the posts in their schedule of posts as well. And then they have you connect all of your platforms so that it will send it out. And it has a recycle feature as well. So if you're going to start using the app, I would recommend that you have at least 1 to 2 weeks worth of posts. Otherwise, you'll have stuff like the same post posted back to back on Instagram by accident because you didn't have enough content to feed it in the first place. So that's something that you could take a look at. I hope that helps you out. It's also the name of the podcast episode if you wanted to see how it's spelled. But more than that, right? I was looking at the fact that they have different categories of posts. So it's got stuff where you have third-party posts where you promote someone else's idea, but you endorse it, meaning to say that, let's say someone wrote about relationships and infidelity, and you believe that the way they handled it is also a good way to handle it. So you promote the post and you write a little bit of a caption. So you kind of make it your own, but you're still promoting someone else's content. So I like the fact that they have space for different kinds of posts, right? So I categorize mine as Instagram posts, Facebook posts, third-party posts, blog posts that should go on my website as well. And then it will kind of tell me, for instance, right? Let's say I posted my third-party post on Facebook. It will tell me to post it on Facebook, let's say on Monday. And then on Tuesday afternoon, it will tell me I should probably post that same thing again, but in a format that is appropriate for Pinterest. And then that same post again will come up. So it's not like you're posting the same thing across all platforms every day, which is what I'm doing right now, right? If you go into Instagram, it's really easy to hit the button that says post to Facebook. So you're sharing the exact same thing immediately to the same other platform. But that also gets boring to people, and they tend to stick to their favorite platforms instead of following you everywhere possible because you have different things popping up in different places all the time. So I thought that was really clever and a different way of looking at how to post so that you're not creating tons of content everywhere. You're kind of reusing the same content in different places at different times during the week. So I thought that was neat. I thought it was really interesting for me to consider as I try to grow my business. And while their scheduling is interesting, it's also something for me to consider when I try to do this on my own. So right now, yes, I've taken a look at Smarterqueue. I like what they're considering, but I need to get used to posting on those other platforms first before I start using this. So I just wanted to kind of use the schedule to wrap my head around how to post differing content all over the place instead of the same thing over and over again in the same places. I'm really glad you jumped on the way you did because, I believe in serendipity. So I'm glad you heard what you needed to hear right when you needed to hear it. The other thing I'm actually using to help organize my life at the moment, I think I've mentioned this in a podcast or two before, Teamwork. Teamwork app is free. It allows you to manage 2 projects at a time while it's free. If you have more projects than that, obviously you need to get the paid version, but it's not very expensive. Maybe 10 USD a month is the lowest paid version. But I like the idea of Teamwork because it gets me to plan out my day and write down all the things that I need to get done. At the moment, I was using the Momentum Chrome plugin, the extension, and that's cool and everything, but the exceptional thing about Teamwork is I get to time how long it takes me to do some of these tasks, and it allows me to add it to a billable task or not. So I can actually sit there and time myself and see how long it takes to convert all of my podcasts to Libsyn, which then distributes to Spotify and iTunes and all of those things. But the fact that, if I I find that when I have to time myself, I'm a little more focused. I don't let myself scroll through Instagram randomly because I needed to pick up my phone. And where I was meant to look at my calendar, I ended up looking at Instagram because there was a notification and I kind of forgot what the hell I was doing. So this actually helps me streamline my thought processes and really focus so that I can get the task done instead of dragging it out and letting it take all day. So today, so far, I feel really good because I actually redid my hashtags. I do that every so often because I find that I don't get the kind of response as far as likes and comments on my post as I did before. When it kind of starts to dwindle down, I realize that I need to update the hashtags and maybe make them a little more focused towards the kind of content I'm putting out there. So that was actually really helpful. And that's the Teamwork app. What else? I've actually been just reorganizing. So right now it's the 3rd of July. I've been resetting all of my goals for July, trying to make sure that I'm on point, that I know exactly what the end goal is by the end of this first month of the 3rd quarter. And that way I'm using all of these apps, right? So Smarterqueue has been great. It's been really interesting as far as managing all of social media. I know a lot of people use oh gosh, there are a couple of other apps out there. I can't really remember them, but I haven't really used any of those because I've never been in a position where I wanted to schedule posts ahead of time. But now where I'm finding myself more busy with clients and entertaining discovery calls with potential clients, I'm finding that in the process of all of that stuff, I'm forgetting certain things. So I'm trying to make sure that I create the content ahead of time so that I know when to post where, and it's like less of a hassle. Up till now, really, I will read and I will listen to podcasts as I cook. And when I hear something that really resonates with me, I'll stop everything and then I'll try and knock out the post right then and there. And that way it's not really pre-thought out or premeditated. It's more like it's in the moment. It's very authentic. I feel it really right now. And whoever needs to hear it, I hope, it gets to where you are. And it becomes a lot easier for me to do it that way because it's a lot more authentic. But I'm realizing that with all my schedule craziness, I need to maybe at least create a week's worth of content ahead of time and then let the scheduling app do what it does. I just read your comment. You said making hashtags is a little more focused would really help a lot. And generally, my strategy for hashtags as far as marketing is concerned is I usually have 3 separate lists of about 30 hashtags each. Obviously, each of those lists will start off with at least 5 hashtags that remind people of who I am. So it's normally my business name, my identifiers, the fact that I have a podcast, the Night Owl podcast, the tag itself, the fact that I'm Singaporean, to kind of drive home the idea that, I'm based in Singapore, but I service the world at large. And then the rest of them are specific. So I will go through posts that I've liked and see what hashtags they're using. And the ones that apply to my business, I will research and see how many followers there are on those particular hashtags or how many times they've been used. So I know that I'm not using the ones that are super big. I stay away from the ones that are in the millions, mostly because if you think about it, the way hashtags work, right? If I use, let's say, Singapore instead of Singaporean, there's several million. I think it's like 65 million times that hashtag has been used. And if I were to add mine to that right now, you would not be able to find me. You know what I mean? I would not be at the top of the list or even at the top area above the fold where the list appears. I would be lost in the shuffle, and that means every day somebody else is going to use it. So I would have to use it continually along with other hashtags to make sure that I'm at the forefront of everyone's mind, so that when they look for me, it's easy to search for. Obviously, the Rasat one hashtag is very small. It's only mine. No one else is using it, I think, as far as I know, which also means that it is maybe 1,000 hashtags out there. So if you were to look for that hashtag or you decide to follow a hashtag, it's easier to find me there. So generally speaking, I look for hashtags that are under 50,000 because it's easier for me to get to the top of those. And then every so often I'll maybe put 1 or 2 that are in the millions, but not a lot of them. But this way, when people are looking for stuff like staying fit at home, single moms, working moms, I hate the word boss lady and boss lady mindset. I know there's millions out there, which is why I stay away from those. But I use things like I deal with communication styles. So I talk about healthy relationships and I talk about healthy communication. I talk about confrontation. I talk about addiction, meaning addictive behaviors, addictive thoughts, clearing out your thoughts, things of that nature. But I also have a set that is specifically for business. So I follow people like, and it's funny because Gary Vee doesn't really use hashtags, but I follow things that he says that are relatively easy to find and don't have tons of followers using them. Sorry, I'm reading your comments again. It says, do you mean using a common hashtag would be good? Yes, actually, it helps you bring like-minded people to you, and that's at least that's my philosophy. Anytime I've done marketing for any of the companies I've worked for, I've made sure that we have at least 3 lists of 30 each, because that's the limit. They won't let you post more than 30 in one comment. And I usually put it in the comments, not in the post itself. And I've seen people do it different ways. My post is almost like a mini blog. It's exactly how I feel. I lay it all out for you in the post itself. And then in Instagram, the comment section, my first comment is going to be my set of 30 hashtags. There's only one set per post that I use out there. But that means I can, mix and match the 3 sets according to what the post is specifically dealing with. Sorry, there's another plane. But like I said, when I do that, it helps me bring like-minded people to me, and it also helps me search those specific hashtags to see what else is out there. So I don't know if you know, I follow Gary Vee pretty closely, and I like the fact that he has the $1.80 marketing strategy, which means you put your 2 cents, your comment or opinion on at least 90 posts every day. And that actually helps me generate more content as well, and it helps me when I'm looking at what's out there already, what people are talking about in general, and what hashtags are being used on those people's posts. So it helps me connect with the community at large, which I really love. I love networking, and this is a great way to do that. So it is a little bit of thought up ahead of time, but I keep a spreadsheet with all of the hashtags that I've researched before, and I update them regularly, like maybe once every quarter, or longer than that even, maybe once every 2 quarters. But that's because I like being able to draw new people to me. I know the people that have been with me from the beginning. If they're following me on Instagram, they've been there. They know who I am. They're probably friends and family, and they like and comment generally, and that's cool. But eventually you want new people coming to you as well, right? You want fresh blood in your business all the time. People that will comment and share your posts, people who will engage with you, maybe, send direct messages to you as far as new clients are concerned. And maybe even from those hashtags, it's stuff that you're following, so you put them in your comments, and then you follow them later to see who else is using the comments, what they're using them for, and if it's appropriate for your business still or not, because you see the comments kind of evolve, right? I'm sure that back before the episode, the TV series Lucifer came out, if you were to search the hashtag Lucifer, it meant something different. Now it's all about this TV series, so it's changed. So I like to keep ahead of all of the hashtags. So that's something that I did this morning. I created a new set of hashtags for my business, and I've changed out my top 3 posts on Instagram using those hashtags, just to see how they behave in social media in general. So that's that. I went ahead and updated all of my podcasts, and I feel really bad because I had at least like 12 episodes that I had not put on social media outside of the Facebook app. So I went ahead and did that. That took me about 2 hours to get the dates, do all the metadata, the descriptions, the titles, all that stuff. And then I put them on 2 different platforms. I use SoundCloud a lot. I've been on SoundCloud from the beginning, and the other one more recently this year has been Libsyn, because it distributes for me. SoundCloud does not distribute. I mean, it does in the US, but it does not in Singapore, so I was not able to use that function, whereas Libsyn actually does that for me, so that's been really helpful. What else? Let me go back to teamwork here and see what else I've been doing. I have been using LinkedIn Profile. Well, okay, I haven't been using it. I've been subscribing to it, but I haven't really been using it. But it's a brilliant, brilliant app. It's about $10 per month. And LinkedIn Profile basically gives you the ability to link each of your Instagram posts to a particular page or a particular service on your website. So it gives you the ability to attach gosh, I can't think right now. So it has the ability to attach a specific website. So it could be a quick code to a YouTube video that you did, or it could be a link to your podcast episode that you did, and it gives you the ability to do that in each of the posts. Whereas I know a lot of people use Linktree. It's used for maybe 5 to 10 different websites that have promotions for you, and you normally list that in your profile of your Instagram page. And I talk about Instagram a lot because that's my number one. That's my number one go-to for all of my social media marketing. The next best place that you can find me is probably Facebook. So I use these things, or at least I had the plan to use these things, but because I'm not up to date with my Facebook page, sorry, not my Facebook page, my web page, I'm in the process of redoing that again. I wasn't able to utilize LinkedIn profile as well as I could have. So I actually had to cancel that. I got rid of MailChimp today because I am sick and tired of trying to schedule out posts and emails, and it wasn't doing it on a date basis. It was giving me a lot of trouble. So I had a lot of trouble. Even there were tons of tutorials out there, I was having a lot of trouble managing MailChimp, and I decided to get rid of it. So instead, I'm using Dubsado now. So Dubsado actually does all of the email marketing planning and stuff as well, but they also include functions like opening up billing and invoicing. It gives you the ability to have people schedule time with you to speak to you. And I think instead of having MailChimp and an app maybe like Calendly, to have Dubsado instead would be a smarter move for me, because then everything is in one place, which means my contracts are in that same place. Invoices, when people actually send me payments, receipts, all that stuff can come from one place. So I really love that app as well. Just now getting into using it, so I will probably do an episode on that later on. But for now, just so you have it, it's Dubsado, Dubsado. And I'm actually quite impressed with the fact that it's kind of like a one-stop shop for the admin side of my business. So bottom line is, July has started, third quarter has started. I am revamping my business again. And this is something that's always ongoing if you are a one-man band in your business, because you want to make sure that you're up to date, that you're doing things as efficiently as possible. And when you find new apps and new ways to do things that are smarter for you, I generally try to get on my podcast and share it with the world, because you never know. Maybe you've been looking for someone to say something about what's working and what's not. And hopefully you'll find me at the right time. So I'm going to get back to work right now, but hopefully this was helpful to you. If you have any questions or comments, please do send me a private message, DM Messenger. If you have concerns, please leave them in the comments. I would love to be able to help you out with that as well. Hey, Anitra, thank you so much for joining. And Bonio Vescas, thank you so much. I really hope this was useful to you. Please stay tuned. And if you have specific questions, please go ahead and ask me. And maybe if it's something that I've heard from several people, I'll do a podcast episode on that as well. So with that, I'm just going to call it. In the meantime, y'all have a blessed day wherever you are. And I'll get back on here soon. Talk to you soon. Bye.